High in the Armenian Highlands, overlooking the sparkling waters of Lake Van, lie the ruins of a lost kingdom. This is Urartu, a powerful kingdom that once rivaled the might of Assyria. They were masters of war and engineering. For centuries, their fortresses and cities stood strong. They were a force to be reckoned with. However, the sands of time buried their legacy. The kingdom of Urartu faded from memory for centuries. Only whispers of their existence remained in ancient texts. Then, in the 19th century, explorers rediscovered the kingdom of Urartu. They uncovered the ruins of their cities and fortresses. Inscriptions on stone told the story of their kings, their conquests, and their beliefs. Today, we are piecing together the forgotten history of Urartu. We are rediscovering a vibrant and sophisticated civilization that left its mark on the ancient Near East. The kingdom of Urartu emerged in the 9th century BCE. Its heartland was around Lake Van in what is now eastern Turkey. The Urartians were a distinct people. They were not related to the Assyrians or Babylonians to the south. Their origins are still shrouded in mystery. Their language was unique. It was not related to the Semitic languages spoken by their neighbors. The Urartians were masters of their environment. They built their cities and fortresses on high, defensible plateaus. They were protected by the rugged mountains of the Armenian Highlands. These mountains were difficult to traverse. This made it difficult for enemies to attack them. Despite their isolation, the Urartians were not cut off from the outside world. They developed trade routes. These routes connected them with Anatolia to the west and Mesopotamia to the south. This allowed them to acquire goods and resources. It also helped spread their influence. The Urartians were fierce warriors. They were skilled in both infantry and chariot warfare. They were led by powerful kings. These kings expanded their kingdom through conquest. They created a powerful empire that dominated the Armenian Highlands and beyond. One of the most famous Urartian kings was Sarduri I. He ruled in the 8th century BCE. He is credited with establishing a centralized state. He expanded the Urartian kingdom significantly. He is also credited with building many of Urartu's impressive fortresses. These fortresses were essential to their military success. Another notable king was Argishti I. He ruled in the late 8th and early 7th centuries BCE. He expanded Urartian territory to the north, east, and south. He conquered parts of modern-day Armenia, Iran, and Iraq. He also founded the city of Erebuni. This city would later become the Armenian capital of Yerevan. The Urartian army was renowned for its discipline and organization. They used iron weapons and armor. This gave them an edge over their enemies. They also employed advanced siege warfare techniques. This allowed them to conquer even the most heavily fortified cities. The rise of Urartu brought them into direct conflict with their powerful southern neighbor, Assyria. The Assyrians were the dominant power in the Near East at the time, constantly seeking to expand their empire. The Urartians, located strategically to the north, became a major obstacle to Assyrian ambitions. The conflict between Urartu and Assyria was a clash of titans, and it raged for centuries. Both sides had powerful armies and fought many battles. The Assyrians, with their vast resources, often had the upper hand. However, the Urartians proved to be a tenacious foe. Their fortified cities and skilled warriors often repelled Assyrian attacks. The most famous Assyrian king, Tiglath-Pileser III, campaigned against Urartu in the 8th century BCE. He claimed to have inflicted heavy defeats on the Urartians, yet he was unable to decisively defeat them. Other Assyrian kings, such as Sargon II and Sennacherib, also campaigned against Urartu. Nevertheless, Urartu remained a thorn in the side of the Assyrian Empire. Despite their focus on warfare, the Urartians were also skilled farmers and artisans. They took advantage of the fertile valleys and volcanic soil of the Armenian Highlands, developing sophisticated irrigation systems. These systems allowed them to cultivate a variety of crops, including wheat, barley, grapes, and olives. The Urartians were also skilled metalworkers and were among the first people to master ironworking. They used this knowledge to create superior weapons and tools, and they also produced beautiful bronze objects such as bowls, cauldrons, and figurines. The Urartians traded their agricultural produce and metal goods with their neighbors, which brought them wealth and helped to spread their cultural influence. They were renowned for their craftsmanship, and their goods were highly sought after throughout the Near East.